Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the year of 2026. We're going to jump right in here. Your first row is going to represent what major opportunities to look out for this year. You have this Golem card that says a close friend acts on your behalf. You have this dagger, it says conflict and danger lie in wait. I would be careful of past people with that card. I don't really think that's an opportunity, obviously, Aries, but I feel like that card is saying, it's like, I think Aries, I've said this to you before, has maybe dealt with conflict with people where it's like you try to help people, but they never scratched your back, right? They never helped you. And I feel like that is saying you need to be careful of those people, plain and simple. And I feel like you should pay more attention to these people, the people who help you, the people who support you. And you have the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles ultimately says you need to be the leader. You need to be the person standing on that bench there. And the people that enter into your life should be supporting your vision, right? And I kind of feel like that's a very simple solution to this card here. It's just saying the more you focus on the right people, the better things will be. You have the Seven of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Justice card showing up here, Aries. And the Seven of Wands is your commitment to something. And I do feel that it is the perfect year for Aries to deeply commit to something that they want to have be successful. And so if you're working on a project or business or an idea or something personal, Seven of Wands says when you know that when you develop that level of belief in the project or in the thing that you're working on, that's when it will truly be successful. And so I think that the Seven of Wands is saying you have an opportunity to work on your mindset and to convince yourself, which, definitely can be hard, Aries, right? Convincing yourself of something. But you have the opportunity to convince yourself that something is right for you. And so I would do that. I also, obviously, Seven of Wands is a card of drawing a line in the sand. It's like saying, this is what I'm willing to accept in my life, and anything below this line cannot enter into my life. So with the conflict and danger lie in wait, it might be a good year to kind of draw those boundaries with people in your life so that you can protect yourself, obviously. You have the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles can be independence, and it is also great for creating heaven on earth. The whole point of the Nine of Pentacles is to change your environment, the energy around you, and to make it a little bit more like heaven on earth. That doesn't mean that you're going to have heaven on earth. It means you have to do things. You have to take actions. You have to change things around you to have heaven on earth. So that would definitely be a focus, based off of everything here. I think a good main focus for you in 2026 should be the energy around you and making sure that it matches the vision in your head, right, as much as humanly possible. And so I would do that with this card. But money looks pretty good in this reading for you, Aries. Ace of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles. I definitely feel there could be a positive financial change coming in for you, even if money is doing pretty good right now. You could be doing something to improve it even more. You have the Justice card. So Justice is about having a neutral perspective. Definitely with Neptune and Pisces in Aries. Neptune will move back into Aries towards the end of January of 2026, obviously. And Neptune and Aries, we have to take a neutral perspective on everything. I always say the problem with Neptune and Aries, I think, is that it's kind of like people looking for a savior. So we might be looking for someone to save us. We might be looking for a person we think has all the answers. But really the whole point of Neptune and Aries is that we have the answers. It's trying to get us to be more independent. It's trying to get us to trust ourselves and trust the evidence that we collect, right? And so I think it's a great time to trust but verify. We all need to become little data nerds right now where we can listen. We need a variety of information. We have to go study. We have to go learn from other people. But the things that we learn, we have to put them into practice and figure out what works for us. And the people who do that will be very successful. The people that blindly follow someone are just going to end up in a cult, right? So, that's what I would, that's it. There you go, Aries. We're going to clarify with the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. With the Seven of Wands, you have this status card. It's like, Seven of Wands can be fighting for status, which I don't like, right? Seven of Wands can be holding on to things that you think give you status. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, Aries, but we had Neptune in Pisces. The thing about Neptune and Pisces is it dissolves things. It dissolves illusion, like illusions, right? And so, like, I always use the ridiculous example of, like, let's say you owned a Lamborghini. It's like, most people think a Lamborghini gives them status or something like that. But, during Neptune and Pisces, we are being asked to let go of the illusion. That doesn't mean you can't still have your Lamborghini. That doesn't mean if you have a goal to get a Lamborghini that you can't still have it. But what it does mean is that the reasons you think you need one might not be true, right? It's like most people want a Lamborghini, they think it's going to attract more women. I can tell you that when you get a fancy car, the only thing you attract is more men, right? So what I would say here is, obviously, that's a joke. Not all of you want a car, but whatever it is that you do want, I feel this is saying you have the opportunity to really get to the heart of what you want, right? I always tell people, from a manifestation perspective, people always tell me, I've been trying to manifest $10 million and I'm not manifesting it. I'm like, yeah, because you're trying to manifest $10 million. That's not what you really want. And they say, of course I want $10 million. All these things. And I'm like, yeah, but that's what you want. You don't want the $10 million. You want what the $10 million can get you. So when you shift your focus, when you focus on what you actually want, not the thing, right, but what you actually want, that should be your focus. That's when you can gain status. And I feel like that's what this is saying. It's like you're letting go of the fake status for real status. Maybe that's what's happening here, Aries. I don't know. You tell me. With the Nine of Pentacles, you have the originality card. Yeah. For the next many years, we are in a time of originality. Uranus and Gemini. Uranus moves back into Gemini in April. We have Pluto in Aquarius right now. So any original ideas, any original perspectives, learning new things, all that will make you very successful. So, I mean, really, I would encourage every single person on Earth to focus on originality for sure. With the Justice card, you have this Vision card. Definitely an important year to hold your vision for you, Aries, and having a vision that you're clear on, not the Lamborghini, but what the Lamborghini can get you, right? What you think the Lamborghini will get you. That's what you actually want, right? So I think you need to get clear on your true desires, not the thing, but the thing. The thing underneath the thing, right? That you actually want. And I think if you change your focus, then things could get a whole lot better for you this year, for sure. Next, we're going to look at your blind spot this year. Of course, you have this Go the Distance card. If there was one sign that I could predict what their blind spot would be, it would be you. It would be this card right here. It says Go the Distance. You have this Chaos and Conflict card. Yeah, I think your blind spot is finishing things. It will be. That is the challenge of Neptune and Saturn and Aries. I don't think this is bad at all, Aries, but as I've been saying to you all of this year, 2025, I would definitely encourage you to see things through to the end, because that's where your success is going to come from, plain and simple. And the Chaos and Conflict card again, until like 2033, we are going to see a lot of chaos in the world. Uranus loves being in Gemini, but Uranus in Gemini is chaotic, and Uranus in Gemini is rebellion. So we will probably see a lot of craziness going on around us, but we have to maintain the focus on what we are doing, right? You have the Magician, the Three of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles. Again, I think you need to see that you are a magician. Is this really a blind spot? Kind of. I feel that you need to believe in your own power, with the Magician. He has mastery over all these suits. He's very powerful, and he needs to use that power to get what he wants, and he needs to manifest, he needs to take action, he needs to maybe reinvent himself as well. It's like, I think if Aries looked at their life right now, you're probably farther ahead than you thought you would be for most of you, and I feel like you need to realize that you have the power to go farther, and that's kind of what the Magician is saying to me, to you. You have the Three of Pentacles. Again, not really a blind spot, but I do feel it's something you should think about, the people that you have in your life. You have this, and you have the Three of Cups. Three of Cups is my card of concentrated connections. Three of Pentacles is very similar. Again, those people are supporting his vision right here. So, making sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who actually support your ideas, and making sure that you maintain the lead as well, right? I think I've said this to you many times in 2025, that you need to be the leader. You need to be the boss of whatever it is that you're doing. So make sure you are. You have the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like I feel, again, not necessarily a blind spot, because I feel like you see the opportunities that are coming for you this year. I feel the blind spot here is taking advantage of them quicker. So when you see an opportunity, I wouldn't wait too long to take advantage of it. I would jump on the opportunity. The other thing that could be a blind spot is we go to the Queen of Pentacles here. Queen of Pentacles could be you thinking that you can't take advantage of an opportunity because maybe you are thinking that you don't have the resources, but you actually do. So I would be, don't wait around on opportunities. I would just get started on them, and then the resources will show up. Here you go. With the Magician, you have this concentration card. I basically have been saying this the whole time about your focus, about picking something, finishing it. So, concentrating on what you're doing is going to be important. Again, Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands, he is defending his position at the top of the hill, but he is also maybe doing that so he can focus on one thing. And so I feel concentration, focus, all those words are going to be important this year. With the Three of Pentacles, you have this health card. Yeah, it's a good year for health, actually. I feel it's a good year for getting to the bottom of things. We had Pluto retrograde this year, 2025. And you might be saying, why are you talking about in 2026? Well, Pluto is very slow moving. It takes forever for it to move forward. And so, again, still, at the beginning of 2026, I think is still a good time for getting to the bottom of any health issues or problems or challenges and fixing those things. So, I think that would be a good thing for you to do. I also don't let health be a blind spot. Like, make sure you're taking care of yourself. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have this egotism card. Again, I don't really feel this is saying you have an ego or anything. But sometimes I think when we don't do something, it kind of is ego because, we're afraid of taking a risk maybe. And we're afraid of how it'll make us look, right? So that's the type of ego that I would let go of if that makes sense. Next, we are going to look at your next right step. You have this retreat card. It says withdraw, self-protection, reevaluation. You have this air. It says movement, intellect, and freedom. Yes, freedom is definitely a key word in 2026. So gaining more freedom would be a good idea. I do feel like protecting yourself is a good idea as well with the Seven of Wands. I think you just need to protect yourself from like dumb ideas from other people and people who try to limit you. That's what I would be protecting yourself from with that retreat card. You have the Emperor, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups. Again, I love that the Emperor comes up at the top of this row because it kind of says you are taking your next right steps. This is you. Whenever you show up as yourself in a reading, it kind of puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading. So you're showing up in a strong position, which is definitely going to lead to some benefits for sure, Aries. I also feel like you're more willing to take action this year, which is great. Again, Saturn and Aries, I do feel will be kind of good for you. Saturn can definitely be a pain in the ass in the first house, for sure. I'm a Pisces. I've had Saturn in my first house for the last 3 years, so I get it. But at the same time, I feel like you can make a lot of progress, and I feel it'll make you more bold as well and more disciplined, so I feel pretty good about this. Next, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, we all need to be resourceful. I've been saying for the past 2 years at least that we're in a time of resourcefulness until, I don't know, for the foreseeable future, basically. Number one, money will be changing at the beginning of 2026. I've been predicting this since 2016. You can go back to my old videos. I used to talk about this all the time. The end of Neptune and Pisces will change money in some way, and we will probably see that change in 2026. What does it look like? I have no clue. Neptune and Pisces is unpredictable, so who the hell knows? But what I would say is it's more important that we focus on our resources, not money, but energy, time, effort, our own ideas. Those are going to be the good resources that can make us more successful. And, that's definitely something I would focus on. Next, you have the Page of Cups. Again, your next row is going to represent love, but there definitely could be love coming in for you. And the Page of Cups, I do feel, is an admirer. And I also feel, but I do feel this could be saying that one of your next right steps could be taking a step towards love. That is, of course, if you want love. But I also feel for all of you, you should be working on a dream. I mean, you get this card with me all the time, Aries, and he has this fish in the cup. That fish might be his dream, or it might be part of something he's dreaming of manifesting. So I feel it would be a great time to work on a dream. With the Emperor, you have this organization card. I do feel you are going to become more organized. Again, Saturn in your first, in your sign is definitely, even if you're not a first house Aries, doesn't matter. I feel it's going to make you more organized and make you get more, do things in a certain way, which is probably good. I feel pretty good about it. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have this impulsiveness card. The funny thing is I kind of do feel that it is a good time to be impulsive. Again, Uranus and Gemini. Uranus and Gemini can be like very spontaneous. It can be random opportunities. And sorry, my leg is asleep right now, so let me move. But it can be very impulsive, can be very spontaneous, can be opportunities that come out of the blue that we have to take advantage of very quickly. I think that we need to balance this energy, right? It's like if you're only being impulsive and you're rushing right into things, then that could cause a problem. But what I would say is I think it's a good time to at least take a step, take a small step towards an opportunity. You don't have to make these big, huge leaps or anything like that. But as long as you're taking a small step and doing your research as you go along, then you'll be fine. And, that's what I'll say there. With the Page of Cups, you have this achievement card. Definitely could be some achievements this year for you. Again, I think it's a good year for you in general, so wouldn't surprise me. And, I've seen a lot of this like achievement victory type energy coming up in these 2026 readings. So, people could really be winning at this time, which is great. Next, in the area of love, you have this Scales of Balance card. It says, find the balance within yourself and things will balance out around you. You have this Gemini card. It says, speak your truth. It says, choose your words wisely. Remember that your words have consequences. So a lot of you could just be balancing yourselves out in general, which I think would be good. I do feel like some of you could be speaking up in connection. So, if you're meeting a person this year or if you're finding a person, I do feel this is kind of like saying, show them the real you. And, that will be probably pretty good for you. You have the Three of Wands and the Three of Cups, the Seven of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. These two wanted to come out together. Three of Cups can feel like a reunion. I do kind of feel that for those of you that want love. And even if you don't want love, by the way, this row could just be something that you will love. And the Three of Cups, though, if it is love, could be someone that you feel very connected to, because it could be like a past life person or something like that. Three of Wands would be encouraging you to get out into the world, obviously, to meet a person. So, I would definitely leave your comfort zone if you are looking for love. And I would say for all of you, even if you don't want love, Three of Wands can encourage us to explore, to find new things that we will love, like hobbies, interests, things like that. And I feel like finding something that fulfills you this year would be a good idea, like a hobby, an interest, something you do for fun. Having that type of escape would be good for you for sure. You have the Seven of Pentacles. The funny thing about this is I feel like you're finally making up your mind this year, 2026. I should say this coming year, because I'm recording this in December. But, I feel like you're finally making up your mind on what you want or like the type of person you want. And, maybe you've been going back and forth and like thinking, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Do I want it? And I feel you're finally deciding. And, it's going to be different for all of you. So I don't know what you're deciding. Only you can make that decision. But I do feel that. Seven of Pentacles can be a change in direction. So if you are attracting love, I do feel it could be a big change or, could be much different than what you normally experience. But, in a good way. So I like that. You have the Knight of Cups, which is obviously good in the area of love. This can represent a knight in shining armor or someone who sweeps you off your feet. So definitely could be a very solid connection coming in for you here. So, like a real knight in shining armor. And I also feel it could be like a very dreamy person. That might be something that you notice here, Aries. It could be a person who has a lot of dreams. It could be a person who has accomplished a lot of their dreams as well. So, that would be nice. With the Three of Wands and the Three of Cups, you have this romance card. Definitely a very solid connection for you here, Aries. Could be any sign. You have basically everything here. You have that Gemini card. This card could be Taurus, so it could be any sign. But, again, I feel this could be a very romantic connection. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have this excitement card. I feel like you should be excited here, Aries. So there could be a lot of excitement and happiness. This could really improve your situation. That's the other thing that's popping into my head with the Seven of Pentacles. I feel that for you to know if this is a good connection, it's pretty simple. I think your life will be improving, right? It's like maybe you have had experiences where you get into a connection, your life doesn't improve. It goes the other direction, right? And so I feel like the subtle clue here could be that you're getting into something that actually improves your life, and, I would pay attention to that. With the Knight of Cups, you have this enthusiasm card. Excitement, enthusiasm. I think you should be very excited about this and enthusiastic about it. You could be attracting a very enthusiastic, motivational type person here with the enthusiasm card. They could be a little bit of an adventurer as well, I'm getting. They could like travel or go on adventures, or the two of you could go on a lot of adventures together. So definitely looks like something that you're going to really like for sure. Could be another fire sign as well coming in for you. Next, we are going to look at the good stuff. You have this enemy card. It says rival, frenemies, competitors, fights, hostility, be vigilant, opposing ideas. Again, I think it's coming up in the good stuff, so I feel like you're putting up boundaries, like we said at the beginning of the reading, against those types of people. You have this wealthy man. It says entrepreneur, financier, charm, career success, ambitious, young man, well-connected, auspicious results. So, number one, I feel like this could be you. You could be increasing your wealth, you don't have to be a man. This is a general reading. I don't attach gender to my card, so it could be anything. But definitely could be increasing your own results. You absolutely could be attracting someone who's already successful. I felt that. I said that a minute ago on that Knight of Cups. It's like someone who has already accomplished some of their dreams. And so, there you go. You have the Queen of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the King of Wands. I feel pretty good about this Queen of Swords. She's the card of clarity. She has clarity for the first time. She only has clouds halfway up her body, and she's seeing the future more clearly for the first time. And so this year you could just be getting more clarity in your life, which would be great. Or you could be seeing things more clearly in general, which would also be great. You have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune can be a positive turn of events or positive change in your fortunes coming up in the good stuff. I like the Wheel of Fortune, but outside of the good stuff, I always say that the Wheel of Fortune is definitely an action that we have to take. We have to double down on the good stuff, get rid of the bad stuff. I would definitely do that for sure, Aries. I think everybody needs to do that right now. But what I would say is coming up in the good stuff definitely can represent a positive change in your fortunes. Next, you have the King of Wands. King of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, really going for what you want. And it's also like your card, so you're coming up in a strong position again. Whenever you come up as yourself, puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want. He's also very innovative. I think something people forget about him is that he does have the gift of foresight. He can almost see the future. He has very futuristic ideas about his life as well. So, again, you have that originality card. I think your original ideas could be very successful for you this year, Aries, and I would be taking advantage of those, futuristic, innovative plans that you have for yourself because I think they will make you more successful. With the Queen of Swords, what do you know? You have this flirtation card. Yeah, very flirty connection. Again, one thing I will say is that this year looks good for love. Everybody has had pretty decent cards for love, and also everybody has had these cards. Like this deck alone has several cards that basically say flirtation on them. Some of them are other words, but basically the same thing. So you could be attracting like a very playful, flirty connection, which is fun. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have this intuition card. Yes, definitely Neptune in your frickin' sign here, Aries. I'm telling you right now. The thing about Neptune to remember is inspiration. Neptune is a little bit tricky because it's like, especially when it's in our sign, we have to be inspired to take action. But the problem is that we have to get inspired to take action. And so it's hard sometimes to get started on things with Neptune and in Aries or Pisces actually, but we're talking about Aries because next year. But it can be a little bit hard to get started because you have to find the inspiration, but Neptune makes you feel like you need to be inspired to get started in the first place. I think the trick for you is to trust your intuition. Again, Neptune will make you very intuitive, so you need to trust your own ideas, especially with the King of Wands showing up here as well. He sees the future. People probably aren't going to understand what the hell you're talking about, Aries. Like, you might have these ideas that are just so far ahead of everybody else that they can't see it. So if you're sharing your ideas with other people, they might be like, wow, that's stupid, or that doesn't make sense. But you need to listen to yourself, is what this is saying. That's what will change your fortunes. With the King of Wands, you have this fulfillment card. Love it. Definitely very good. By the way, This is Saturn in Sagittarius, and again, it does represent travel or going on adventures, working with foreign locations, doing things like that. I'm getting the word diversifying as well. This could be a word where you are diversifying your finances, or if you have a business, you might be adding something onto your business. If you have a career, same thing, you might be adding something onto it. And I would research that for sure. And I would come up with new ideas with that King of Wands. I think that's how you could diversify what you were doing. But it just seemed, I don't know, that word just stood out to me on this card. So, it seems like that could be something you could do. But this looks really good, Aries. I love it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your year.